Hello and welcome back to live coverage of the Apex Gaming $5,000 Modern Open here at Apex Gaming in Caldwell, Ohio. We're at ApexCon. We got 4 players left in our first Modern 5K of the weekend. Ross, why don't you tell us the 4 players and what they're playing?
So our backup feature is going to be JT. That is our 8 seed snuck in, playing Bant Nadu. Going to be playing against Ben Smith on Boros, our lone remaining undefeated player. Went 5-0 through the Swiss, double drew in, is now looking to make it a clean sweep. Going to need to go through the deck of the format here at Nadu to make it there.
Yep.
And we also have Nadu on the other half of the bracket. That's the matchup we're going to be watching between Jesse Cagle, the other Bant Nadu player, against Jacob Fumich on Esper Goryos. Cagle was able to defeat this matchup last round in the hands of Franklin Folks. Now it's to do it again in the hands of Jacob Fumich, and it is a tough one because the Goryos deck is very explosive with early griefs and solitudes with Ephemerate plus the Goryos Vengeance package. So this is going to be a big test for Cagle, but is our number 2 seed, so we'll be on the play for game 1.
Yeah, I mean, we watched exactly what the Nadu deck could do this past round. You know, we watched Kegel cycle through the whole deck, pass the turn with the ability to cycle through the whole deck again. Even without endurance to do the reshuffle was still just enough to make, 20 tokens past turn. I'll make 20 tokens on your end step.
Yeah, and, may have to be doing similar things this round, though. Fumich, no copies of Surgical Extraction in his list, so doesn't have to worry about losing all his endurances that way. Really just going to have to focus on being fast and being resilient to a little bit of disruption, whether that's solitude or grief.
All right, well, the players are in the feature match area and ready to go. So without further ado, let's head on down there and watch the semifinals.
This is a critical round for all of our players because the top 2 both qualify for the upcoming regional championship and November's Apex Invitational. So this is in some ways what this tournament is building towards, getting those key qualifications.
All right, starting off with the hedge mage here. Kate, we're going to be on the play with Bant Nadu. No 1-drop, but can sculpt the top of the deck a little bit. Maybe look for a powerful turn 2 or 3. Going to pass the turn back, likes what he sees. Fumich draws, goes up to 8 cards. Theoretically, could go draw discard and go for like a Goryo's on 3. I've done that a couple times in my day.
Yeah, definitely an option, but you have so many ways to discard it with Tainted Indulgence and Psychic Frog that usually unnecessary.
Yeah. Here's Springheart and Tuco.
No creature to bestow on, so gotta run it out as a 1/1.
That's true. Fumich here going to go fetching with Polluted Delta. Likely going to grab one of those Surveil lands we see under City Sewers. We're going to take a look at the top card here in just a moment.
Is it Atraxa? Is it Gristlebrand?
Well, he's got one of each in hand, I believe, already. Thoughtseize, doesn't like it. Gonna look for something different. Finds Flagi. Land number 2.
I see a Psychic Frog in hand.
Yep.
So Springheart and Tuco does a pretty good job of checking Frog.
Yeah, you get flying.
I mean, you can't do that every turn.
That's true. Usually.
You get to turn 3 cards in your graveyard into a card once a turn.
Yeah. Better make it count. Better discard a few so you can get some extra damage in. Finds Godless Shrine. Down to 16. Here's the Frog. Had the ability to Prismatic Ending there on the Nantuko. I like the Frog better there, I think, but I don't mind a Prismatic Ending on the Nantuko.
See how punishing it is.
Jesse going to go ahead and play a fetch land. This is going to trigger the Nantuko. Can do that multiple times this turn. Had an Urza Saga in hand. Chose not to play it. So maybe already has Shuko rolled up, so doesn't need it.
Might also want to get to Cord for 3 here. Needs fetch land to do that.
Could go, so we get another token here, and so we can play Nadu now. And if Fumich does have removal or some way, we can maybe Court of Calling for 1 and go get Safekeeper to protect it. That might be the line he's looking at, since he's doing the main phase fetch. But also could just be doing the main phase fetch to play around removal on the Nantuko. All right.
We do see Cord in Kegle's hands, so ready to get a Nadu on Fumich's end step. See a Thoughtseize in Fumich's hand.
Yeah, he's thumbing a Griselbrand, so he probably has Goryo's already rolled up. He does. So we can have a huge turn here. Kegel with Cord can break it up, though, with an Endurance.
Does Fumich have the third land?
My guess is no.
Yeah, if he's thinking about it, probably not. It would be pretty easy to Thoughtseize first and clear the way.
Looks like he might be attacking first. I actually like this a lot. Alright. Worst of both worlds. Thoughtseize first. Kegel here, if he has 2 Cords calling, can just let this resolve. If he has 1 Cord, he can hold.
Well, 2 Cords, 1 Shuko, so likely the Shuko hitting the bin here.
Alright. Fumich here needs to draw land off with the Psychic Frog hit in order to have that Griselbrand come into play here. And even then, you know, is going to be... I don't know. This is a weird turn because he can wait for the Cord of Calling to resolve or to be cast, and then bring back the Griselbrand. Has a 7/7 blocker for a turn, but also can draw 7. Finds Solitudes, finds maybe Subtlety, Force Negation.
Yeah, a lot of options. Giving the Frog flying here. Attack in. Let's just see if you can find another land. I think that was another Frog.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, and if that's all she wrote, well, that's all she wrote. So, Cord for 3. And Kegel doesn't have to be worried about Fatal Push or anything like that. Needs to be worried about maybe Solitude.
Yeah.
So, I would maybe, instead of getting Nadu first, I'd maybe get the Outrider first. Maybe not. Maybe Nadu first is better.
Could also go for Sylvan Safekeeper, then get Nadu, use the Safekeeper to start triggering. Not
yeah,
as powerful,
Safekeeper
but...
is very dangerous, though. You can whiff pretty hard.
Yeah, not as powerful, but would protect from Solitude.
Yavimaya off the top. All the lands now tap for green, even the fetchies. And we're going to go Cording for 1, 2, 3. Cord for 3. Any responses?
Yeah, Fumich doesn't have the Solitude, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah. With Springheart and Tuco, a bunch of mana already at the ready. It's going to be extremely difficult, maybe actually impossible. I don't know if anyone has a hypergeometric calculator, but we might need one. We might need Google's quantum computer to figure this one out.
You don't need any of that. It's over. There is not a sequence.
You heard it here, folks. Ross is stronger than Google's quantum computer.
It's 10 draws. What sequence of 10 draws is Kegel hitting that doesn't either keep the chain going?
3 Shukos.
3 Shukos, Roaring Earth, Bristly Bill, Volatile Storm Drake, and 3 more Nadus. That's still only 9.
And the other Nadu lets you reset because he's got a bunch of mana.
Yeah. So now, yeah, Nadu's actually not even a brick. That's just another 10 cards.
Gonna cast another Nantuko.
Yeah, 2 more cards plus more tokens. It's over.
Yeah. Draw, draw, draw.
Jacob.
Draw.
The
draw,
wings are calling me, Jacob.
Draw, Jacob. Pack it in.
You know what
Thank
to do.
you, thank
Yes.
you, Jacob. We love you. I'm gonna give you a big old kiss on the head. All right, game number 1 goes to Jesse Kegel with Bant Nadu showing off there in the face of Thoughts. He still just easily sets it up.
Yeah, just no third land from Fumich. If he has a third land, that's a completely different game. He gets to reanimate Griselbrand, draw 14 cards, find a bunch of Solitudes and Griefs, and probably take it down.
Yeah, that was a tough Thoughtseize to see. Cord, Shuko.
Yeah, actually impossible to break up. I have, both pieces of the combo no matter what you take. Really, really tough stuff.
All right, as these players reach for their sideboards for a little bit of help, Ross, tell me about Fumich's sideboard and how you think his Goryo's deck is going to side against this Bant Nadu.
Fumich has 2 Celestial Purge, 3 Consign to Memory, 2 Force of Negation, 2 Nile Spellbomb, 1 Subtlety, 2 Teferi Time Raveler, and 3 Wrath of the Skies. I imagine the Subtlety and the Wraths will be coming in. So more ways to stop creatures. And Subtlety is nice just to have more free spells because you're trying to go for an early Goryos as much as possible. Subtlety also stops Endurance to protect your Goryos, so I like that one for sure. Force Negation, a little bit too narrow, I think. This deck is too creature heavy for that one.
Yeah, plus they're all instant speeds things, so sometimes it just doesn't even work right.
Yep. Kegel's sideboard is 1 Burnt and Forge Tender, 1 Drannith Magistrate, 1 Endurance to supplement the 2 in the main, 1 Force of Vigor, 1 Haywire Might, 1 Shadow Spear, 1 Soulless Jailer, 2 Sun Cleanser, 2 Teferi Time Raveler, 2 The One Ring, and 2 Veil of Summer. So the extra Graveyard Hate and Endurance and Soulless Jailer will certainly come in. We saw those in
Yes.
the quarterfinals, and the 2 Veil of Summers quite good against Grief. So I imagine those will come in as well.
Does Drannith Magistrate stop it from coming into play from the graveyard, or is it only
No,
cast?
that's cast spells.
Cast spells.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as you. And so that doesn't even stop the Unearth on Priest of Fell Rights because Unearth is an activated ability. Maybe we see Kegel bring in Teferis. It stops Ephemerate. Some Ephemerate shenanigans. And can stop some of the counter spells, but there's just not enough counter spells to be worried about that.
Yeah, I kind of off it. What's this Roaring Earth do? He's got a Roaring Earth.
It's another Bristly Bill, basically.
Bristly Bill. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, as these players are shuffling up here for game number 2, I want to remind you that we're in the semifinals here at the Apex Gaming $5,000 Modern Open here at ApexCon in sunny Caldwell, Ohio. We got 4 players left battling it out for $5,000 in cash and prizes, as well as 2 qualifications to the Apex Invitational at the end of the year, as well as 2 regional championship invites to DC coming up here in October. These players here are both veterans of the Apex series. Jesse Kegel, usually a judge for us, but decided to put down the judge robes and pick up the Nadus. And
he's been watching everybody here so much, he's like, I can beat these people.
Yeah. And you know what?
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
He's beating all of them.
All right, Fumich here. Going to be on the play here for game number 2, and they're off to the races. Let's go. Forest, Delighted Halfling.
Fumich going to get one of the Surveil lands on end step. We'll see if he wants Meticulous Archive, Shadowy Backstreets, or Undercity Sewers. Looks like he's going for the Backstreet.
Going to take one. Going to take a peek at the top of the deck.
Is it Atraxa? Could be.
Keeps it.
Probably not Atraxa.
No, it's a land. He was having some mana issues recently, and now those are done. We're going to fetch up Hallowed Fountain's a quick grab.
Maybe a frog here.
Miss Monsieur Frog. Here's a Flogy. Slightly worse than Frog, but still a great card. Top 3 going to the graveyard. Creature, and Tainted Indulgence. So almost whiffed. Did it Tainted Indulgence, though?
Yeah, gets the Atraxa in the graveyard. So now it's, do you have Goryo's Vengeance? And does Jesse have an Endurance? That's Outriders and Core, not a good draw.
Well, if we have Nadu in hand, it's a pretty good draw. And go turn 2 Nadu, turn 3 Outriders. Looks like we have Springheart on turn 2. Again, we're not doing the Bestow. I'm going to have a word with Jesse on this. We have Subtlety for it anyway, so no harm, no foul. See where Jesse wants to put that card. Top or bottoms. Gonna put it back on top.
Looks like there's, yeah, I see Endurance in Jesse's hand and a Shuko.
Okay.
So just needs the Nadu itself.
Well, I have to imagine he has something like that, or else he probably would have put the Nantuko on the bottom.
Yeah, keeping Nantuko suggests he has Court of Calling.
Yeah, I might have Summoner's Pact. Unclear. Delta. What you got for 3 mana?
I see another Archaeologist, Solitude, the Indulgence that we knew about from the previous Archaeologist,
think the Wrath of the Skies also. There's a white card hanging out over there.
I mean, I would have been pretty happy wrathing that turn for 1 and dealing with 2 permanents.
Yeah, but you know that Tuco's coming, and if you don't expect to die, then I think you can
Indulgence and then Wrath for 2 this turn and clear up the Nantuko at the cost of your Archaeologist.
Yeah. It looks like Jesse does have the ability to cord for 1 if that's in his hand, but the Endurance here is a big deal.
See if Fumich will do the Surveil, respond to my Surveil trick.
No one will. Don't worry. When they go back and watch the tape and they hear Sid, they'll be like, ah, light bulb moment. But if they didn't watch Javier do it, they don't get it. It's an unintuitive thing.
Well, if you're watching this on Monday, Jacob, you're welcome.
Top card. Gonna leave it on top. Draw 2, discard 1.
Jesse doing the mana cost check. We're not that deep in the game.
We're pretty close. I see Traxa, a land, a Grief, and Tainted Indulgence. So that's 4.
Looks like Fumich kept an island on top with that Surveil, then draws into it, pitches Archaeologist. Yeah, I just wanted to find land 4 for this Wrath.
Attack for 0. Got him.
Jesse blocks because he's a warrior.
Yep. Wrath of the Skies for X equals 2. Any responses, Jesse? Your whole board is getting shattered. Any responses? Boom, boom. 3 cards down.
Checking the double white there. There's also Meticulous Archive. Fumich has plenty of white mana.
Hallowed Fountains to draw. That's going to unlock some stuff. Finds blue and white mana at the same time. We can play Outriders this turn. But instead, we're just going to play Tapped Hallowed Fountain and hold up the Endurance.
Smart.
All right, passes the turn back. Land number 5. Jesse in some trouble.
Jesse might have wanted to main phase that Endurance because now he has to hold it up the entire time. Could end up costing him a card.
Says go. Fumich here going to fetch on instep. I'm not even sure that Fumich has Goryos.
I don't think he does. He's digging. Shadowy Backstreet. This is the Undercity Sewers, sorry. So that's 3 of the 4 Surveillance down for Fumich. Still has the Hedge Maze in the deck.
Every time we say Shadowy Backstreet, I have one thought in my head, and I would like you to say what that thought is.
Is it a Bruce Springsteen song?
No. It's a Smash Mouth song.
Oh, now we're doing the count. Is this enough? We got 1, 2, 4, 7. There's got to be a 1 in there, too.
Look, I could draw 2 to me.
Yeah. Oh, no. Only 4 different
I guess there's no
mana
1.
values.
Can't see. Philogis. Top 3. Finds another Wrath of the Skies. Finds Goryos. And now, as long as Jacob is patient, Kegel has to hold up Endurance the rest of the game. Kegel finds Chord Calling. Oh, it could be nice for later. Could go for Chord for 2 here.
There's an Atraxa. Wonder if we'll see Fumich fire off this Solitude just as an attacker if Kegel continues to do nothing. Yeah.
All right.
It's beat down a clock.
See, this is a spot where I like your line of let's go ahead and get Endurance into play.
Yeah.
All right. After this resolves, we're going to cast Endurance. Okay. Put your graveyard on the bottom. And now Goryo's not so scary.
Nope. But Fumich does have an Atraxa in hand, so if he finds Tainted Indulgence or Psychic Frog or Archaeologist into a different big creature, then Kegel's going to be kicking himself.
Well, you got to do what you got to do. I learned that from Futurama.
Yeah, a fine risk because the Solitude will eventually force your hand.
2 mana.
It was Indulgence.
Found Indulgence. Draw 2, discard. Kegel in some serious trouble now.
Oh, and that was another Goryo's Vengeance too. So that would have beaten the Endurance regardless.
Okay. Kegel, do you have another Endurance in hand? Does not. Traxa enters. Top 10. 1 card of each type.
Right,
Gonna
Grief,
go to hand.
Delta, Force Negation, Godless Shrine, Prismatic Ending, Gristlebrand,
Why are we putting the
Ephemerate,
Pelagia in this pile?
Indulgence, Ephemerate, Atraxa.
Please don't put
So,
Pelagia in this pile.
Has land, instant, sorcery, creature as a different types. Can take the Ephemerate to save the Atraxa and re-trigger it. Going for Gristlebrand, it looks like. Like I would just go for Force of Negation, but
Please. See ya, Pelagia. See ya.
Director sprinted out of the room to make sure.
I just saw it coming. It was
Yeah.
like watching a train about to run over a penny on a train track. Like a friggin' jungle cat sprinting out the room. Alright, well, here's Traxa. The game's basically over, but we'll see if Kegel can finagle his way out.
Gotta run the old Kegel Finagle strat.
Wouldn't be the first time the Kegel finagle happened.
No, it would not. Okay. Kind of Solitude away this Endurance so the other Solitude can attack. Okay, we're going to go up to 23 from Fumich's Solitude. Now Fumich gets to attack for 10. Going to put Kegel to 13. Fumich will gain 13 himself, go to 27. Or gain 10, sorry, go to 24.
And second main.
So we should have 13 to 24 after all is said and done.
Well, assuming we had life totals right to begin with, which... Top 10.
Goryo's, Ephemerate, Priest, a couple lands, Prismatic Ending, Pelagia, Ephemerate, Solitude, Grief. So this might be time to get Grief. Is there another black card? Goryo. You could take Grief Goryo's. Plus this Prismatic Ending and a land. Might have a black card in hand. Would it be better to pitch as well?
Couple of very one-sided games happening so far. A very interesting dance between the two, but Kegel basically forced to hold up Endurance the whole game, unable to progress his board.
Okay, Fumich instead going for Solitude plus white cards, and that allows him to get another Ephemerate. So should Kegel find an answer to this Atraxa, and I don't even know if he has one, you can set up another Goryo's plus Ephemerate.
Alright, discards Gristlebrand, so we can just do it all again next turn. Back to Kegel's way, empty board. 5 mana. Let's see what he can put together. Board calling number 3 drawn, I think. Packs it in. Kegel moves to the sideboard quickly. Gonna look for some help in game number 3. And looks like we're going to pile shuffle. Because why not? Alright, so as these players shuffle up here for game number 3, I'd like to take this moment to shout out our sponsors for this weekend's festivities. Thank you so much to Ultimate Guard. Ultimate Guard is the industry leader for TCG supplies, from the Boulder deck boxes to Katana sleeves. They're the best in the biz. Check your local game store for Ultimate Guard products today. Thank you to Wings Etc. Grill and Pub for keeping us fed and happy on these long tournament weekends. Ross and I will be heading there after the finals are over to get us some cauliflower wings and French fries, or I guess your jerk tots.
Jerk tots.
Jerk tots, yeah.
It's all about the jerk tots, everybody.
Right. Thank you so much to Ghost Energy. Ghost Energy gives us the energy we need to finish these long tournament days. I just did the same bit twice. I can't do that.
We're almost there, Todd. Don't worry.
We're getting there. Last but not least, I don't remember who's the one I didn't do yet.
Spice Rack.
SpiceRack.gg. Tournament software. They're great. We've been working with them for a few tournaments now. They even sent an emissary this weekend. Ev himself from Spice Rack to make sure that our tournament ran smoothly, and it did. Thank you so much for them, and we're happy to be partnering with them. Check out spicerack.gg. See if your local game store wants to run some tournaments through their software. It's cheap and great.
Okay, one more game here to decide who qualifies for the November Invitational and the upcoming Regional Championship by making the finals of today's Apex Invitational qualifier.
Yeah, this is a 2-slot RCQ. These players here are trying to qualify for October's RC in Washington, D.C. Not a whole lot of time left to do that, so for anyone unqualified, this is one of the last few chances.
Yeah, and for the unfortunate loser of this match, well, they can run it back tomorrow. We got another Apex Invitational qualifier, same format, same time.
I'm going to tell Fumich you called him an unfortunate loser. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, we don't know if he is yet. We got to find out.
Okay.
You're the one who's assuming things. Implicitly.
Doesn't implicitly just mean implied?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is the adverb form of implied.
Yeah. Game 3. Fumich going to draw 7. Kegel going to do the same. See if either player wants to take a mulligan or keep their 7s.
It's all about explosive, fast hands here, so mulliganing should be done aggressively.
All right, both keep. No 1-drop from Kegel. He is planning on getting hit with Griefs a bunch, so I'm okay keeping a little bit looser hands as long as they have a little bit to do in the first 2 turns. Turn 2 Wall of Roots, Court of Calling somewhere in there, maybe an Urza Saga.
Yeah. And you also expect Fumich to have a lot of early answers to those mana creatures, prismatic endings and solitudes and such.
All right, green-white surveil lane.
Lush Portico.
That's the one Kegel finds. Lush Portico. Going to take a look at the top of the deck. I think that one's my favorite name of the bunch. I don't know that lush is a word that's been on a Magic card before. I couldn't think of one.
Lush Growth, Lush Oasis.
Are any of those fake? Lush Oasis, what's that from?
OTJ.
Oh, that's new. Lush Growth is an older one. I should have known that one. Alara?
Yeah.
Missed it. Top card, Lush Portico takes a peek. Looks like Fumich kept his on top already. So does Kegel. Everyone likes what they see. Somebody's probably wrong. We'll see who loses, and then we'll just say they were wrong for keeping that one.
No, they could both be right very easily.
I heard hindsight's 50-50. It's either right or wrong. Here's Delighted Halfling. Fumich. 2 mana here. See what he can do. Maybe he has a frog to deploy. Gonna just Prismatic Ending the Delighted Halfling. Pass the turn back.
See Philology, Ephemerate, Subtlety, and Goryo's Vengeance.
On Kegel's side, I saw the Fairy Time Raveler. Let's see if he's got blue mana for it. I see a Misty Rainforest, so it seems like it's coming right now. Gonna go fetching. Looks like, do we have update on the backup feature?
And it seems like they just walked away from the table, so should have a result there.
There's a good chance there's a Nadu mirror in the finals, Ross.
I know.
After a great day. Oh, Ben.
Ooh, Boros, undefeated through the tournament so far, has 1 more round left to go.
Okay. Good work from Ben.
The Heroes, 1-0.
Kegel here. Cast Fairy Time Raveler. Do you want to get that one on screen just because it's been a minute? Me and my friend Teferi. Everyone hates him. He's just out here trying to put in a hard day's work. Keeping the opponents honest, not being able to counterspell your stuff. For as much as people hate counterspells, they really hate Teferi. I don't get it. It's like his whole deal. Anyway. Here's Wonderwall. Meticulous Archive. Going to be the find. And we're going to be looking for something to do next turn as Fumich. Something proactive, hopefully. If we get lucky and put one of them big baddies into the graveyard, Atraxa or Griselbrand, then Could be quite nice for Fumich on the following turn with a...
Yeah, this has been a very slow draw from Kegel, so Fumich has some time to set up his draw. And really, doesn't have to go off on turn 2 or 3, just needs to go off before Kegel does. So the more time he gets from his opponent, the better.
Prismatic Ending on the Teferi, so that problem is now solved.
That will unlock the Force of Negation and Subtlety in Fumich's hand, so can cover anything. Creature, Planeswalker, non-creature.
Kegel thinking about the sequence here. There's a couple of options. Taps 3. We're going to start with Nadu. Fumich here likely going to bite with Subtlety. We'll see, though. They want to hold it for the Shuko, since that's a permanent answer versus a temporary answer.
Could get bit by an Urza Saga if he does that, though.
It's true.
So if you Subtlety here, the Nadu can get drawn before the Saga goes off anyway.
All right. Well, we are going to pitch the Force Negation on the Subtlety. That's going to put the Nadu either top or bottom, depending on where Jesse wants it to go. And he's got more Nadus for days, so he's going to put it on bottom. And fetch. Quick fetch.
It's not on the bottom anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't care, because he was going to 100% play a Delighted Halfling or whatever. Or whatever this thing is. Alright, Fumich has Flagi Archaeologist in hand and a Goryo's Vengeance in hand. If he draws a land, and he's able to mill the top 3 and find one of those big 6 creatures, we could see a Goryo's Vengeance next turn. There's the half-man. Or what? I don't know. Halfling. Flagi?
There's an Atraxa.
Ooh. Doesn't take the Goryos, so if you're Kegel, you gotta be sweating bullets right now. Kegel draws. Finds a Shuko. Oh, does he have another Nadu in hand? I think he does.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Kegel starts with Shuko. Plays a Wildroot.
Now I can use Wall, Halfling Breeding Pool to play the Nadu.
Yep. If Fumich says that's okay, then we are going. Alright. We're going to do it. We got 6 cards coming off the top. Alright, first
Okay.
one. Any responses?
One
Nope.
down, 5 to go. Dried Arbor, that's 2 more.
Yep, that's pretty good.
2 down, 6 to go.
Alright, Springheart and Nantuko.
3 down, 5 to go.
There's a land. That's land number 1. Need one more to get the Nantuko into play.
4 down, 4 to go.
There's Saga.
Jesus.
So now we fetch. This was quick. Found those lands very, very quickly. We're going to go fetch likely a forest. Could go get a dual land.
Only two basic forests in Kegel's list, so gonna have to get a shock land here. So yeah, has to get Temple Garden actually. So there's 1 Breeding Pool, 1 Temple Garden for untapped green duels.
Only one you have mine in hand, or in deck, I assume.
Yes.
All right, here comes Springheart and Nantuko. And now we have 6 looks. If we find a land, we get to keep going. And for every land, we get 2 more triggers.
Yeah, this was an incredible set of early hits for Jesse Kegel.
Yeah, finds a Shuko, not relevant right now. Delighted Halfling, so any green source off the top also lets us play that.
Summoner's Pact.
Is there 1 Dried Arbor or 2?
1.
Okay.
Hill of Summer, so now not hitting lands. Down to your last 2.
We can Summoner's Pact for Endurance, but we just naturally draw the Endurance, so that's okay. And we hit the land. The last one finds it. Now we get to go for 2 more. Keep going, and then we can even play Delighted Halfling and keep going. This is why the deck is so frustrating to play against, because sometimes it just doesn't miss.
Kegel floats the green with Beseju first in case he hits the second Beseju.
Smart. And he does immediately, so paid off. Love it. Well played from Kegel. Now, we got 3 effects floating, and 1 mana floating, and 1 untapped. So, I don't know exactly what the odds are of winning here, but I assume it's extremely high.
Yeah, I can't imagine Fumich coming back in this game, especially because Kegel has the endurance as well.
Right. It's not always about actually physically winning the game. Sometimes it's about just drawing your deck. And, oh, the wonderful things you can do when you draw your deck.
There's Sylvan Safekeepers. That'll stop any Solitude shenanigans. Fumich could have Wrath of the Skies, but Kegel has a backup Shukos and it won't deal with the Nadu.
Okay, so we don't have any more floating, but we can spend 2 and play another Nantuko. And now every land we find is 2 things. I believe we still have a fetch land, but I don't know that it can tap for mana anymore. Quarter Calling, though, means we can reset and go get Nadu and then do it all over again.
Yeah.
So,
could also get the Bristly Bill and start making some biggins.
Yeah. I think the big thing is that we just have the ability to Nadu everything twice again. And that should be enough to draw the deck. And there's the Yavimai as well. 2 more tokens.
Jacob, it's over. You tried your best.
I don't want to say that it's over, but it's over.
You had a good run. Nothing wrong with the top 4. But you know what there is something wrong with? Keeping me here when I'm hungry.
Continuing to play?
You know Jesse's not going to screw it up. There we go.
Fumich, oh my god. Double head kisses for you. Thank you so much. And Kegel takes it 2-1 with Bant Nadu. Luckily, we don't have a Nadu mirror in the finals.
Yeah, going to be playing against Ben Smith on Boros Energy.
Currently undefeated, was 5-0 so fast, and then we just couldn't put him on camera forever.
Yeah, 7-0 in the tournament. Needs to take down 1 more, and is going to have to take down the same matchup he felled in the semifinals. For Kegel, impressive stuff to go through both Goryo's Vengeance decks in the quarters and semis. That is a matchup that we've had pegged all day as a killer for this Nadu deck. He made light work of both of them. Now has to deal with one of the other more popular decks in the metagame in Boros Energy. This is a deck that has a good amount of removal for your early mana creatures. I see 4 Galvanic Discharge, 3 Lightning Bolt, and 3 Static Prison. And 4 Flage as well.
Save it for the next match, Ross.
You got a lot of pressure, so this is going to be an interesting match. We haven't seen a lot of this Boros Energy deck. Glad to be able to see it in the finals.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break here while we get the 2 finalists ready, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the matchup. And don't go anywhere. That's Ross. I'm Tandy. We'll be back for the finals here at Apex Gaming in Caldwell, Ohio.